Hello everyone, it's Ian again with another hobby vlog. You might remember last time I was in the middle of basing up some abyssal flamebearers. Well, here are the finished results. Ta-da! Oh yeah, looking good. So, one regiment of 20. Looking pretty sweet. I love the contrast between the yellow abyssals and the blue flame balls. I remember last time I was gluing magnets into the base. Well, you can see the magnets in there. And since then I've painted it and added a lot of static grass. And that just leaves me to slot the minis into place. And that's the abyssal warlock. No flame balls for him. He just points and you die. Pointy, pointy. He's not magnetized. He is glued and pinned to the base. So that's the bottom of the pin there. Because he actually needs the base is there to protect him more than anything. I don't want him falling over and the wings falling off or something. There was a couple of bits of this, because it's all resin, it's really pretty spindly. There was a couple of bits chipped off when I built him, so the base is actually going to look after him. Right, so they're all done. Magic. Moving on. Another project I've got on the go at the moment is making some Doctor Who scenario play using Dead Zone rule set and the Warlord Doctor Who miniatures. So I've got some Slitheen here. These guys are awesome and painted up very nicely because they're all one colour pretty much. Yeah. Focus when you're ready. Now I've got Doctor Who and companions. Mickey, not so close, please. But the scenario I want to do is where the Slitheen invade London and they camouflage themselves by killing humans and inhabiting their skins, which is gross but really cool scenario. So I want to have a scenario where there's lots of civilians on the board. The Doctor and companions have got to try and search these civilians and try and work out which one's Slitheen, and then they burst out and start attacking. It will all be very entertaining. So I scoured the internet, and this was more difficult than I thought it would be, to find some civilian models. I've got a bit of a motley assortment because there's a few from Spectre Miniatures, a few from Bad Squiddo Games, and one or two others. Because what I really wanted was people in uniforms or suits, because they're representing the government officials in Downing Street, which is where the TV episode was set. So I've got lots of well-dressed civilians. I just want to talk about how I was basing them a little bit. So being metal miniatures, they come on all manner of little round-ish metal tabs, a bit like this plastic guy demonstrates. So it's not a fully molded base, it's just a little tab, and that's what most of the metal ones came on as well. And so to base them up, I've used some spare Dead Zone bases because they come with this inset round space, which is deliberately designed to take this, a Dead Zone model, so it slots in and fits flush. Well, guess what? It works for lots of other metal miniatures as well that have little metal bases. And it just sinks them in and makes them stand level with the ground, which is exactly what you want. And then to add some texture to these bases, I'm using this stuff, Vallejo ground texture. So it's paint, grit, and glue all slapped together, really. It's a great big grey goo. And you sort of slap it on like a paste. And then when it dries, it gives you this gritty finish. You can shape it to an extent as well, but importantly what it'll do is, because all these metal tabs they're on aren't round necessarily. You might be able to see from some of these. You see that guy there in the middle. He's an oval base. It doesn't fill the hole in the base fully. So part of what I'm doing with this base material is filling in all the gaps as well. So it looks like they're stood on flat level ground. There aren't any gaps and crevices. Nobody wants crevices, unwanted. So they've all had one layer. It's looking a bit scruffy at the moment still. You can see this one's quite recessed still. So I'm going to add a bit more, just bring all the ground level and flush, and then when it's undercoated, it'll look like these guys, because that's what these guys have had. These are Warlord bases which have a lip, and then the miniatures are set on metal tabs as well, with their little names written in, which is quite cool. So I've left their names exposed because I think it looks nice. But then that's what this paste looks like once it's slapped on and painted up. So my civilians, I want the bases to look the same because they're all in the same game. So let's do a bit of that now. So get my pot, scoop some out. And just gonna start. I've got way too much here. Let's try it with a bit less. Just applying it like this. Give it a bit of texture to the base. Filling in that recess. But what I really don't want to do is get any actually on the models, because I don't want my miniatures to look gritty. I want them to look pretty. Well, you get the idea. That's about it for now. Come back when these are done. They're all going to be painted up in sort of fairly subdued business dress, so blues, blacks, pale shirts. I'm not sure about Virulin. That's all from me. Bye-bye.